Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive? We're tackling Standard ERP by HansaWorld today, and let me tell you, this is way more interesting than your average spreadsheet software. We're going to break it all down, figure out what makes this system so special, and more importantly, why you should even care.
You know, what gets me excited about standard ERP is how it takes that core idea of ERP, managing your whole business in one system and actually pulls it off. I mean, we're talking 49 integrated modules. And it's not just the usual stuff like finance and inventory. We're talking CRM, email, even electronic conferencing, all connected, all working together.
Okay, 49 modules, that's a lot. But how does that actually work in the real world?
Okay, so picture this. You're about to close a huge deal, right? Yeah. But you got to make sure that product's actually in stock. Now, usually that means tons of emails going back and forth, maybe even some frantic phone calls, right? But with standard ERP, it's all right there. You see the inventory, you reserve it for the order, you can even get a delivery estimate, and you do all this without leaving the system. That's what I'm talking about. 49 modules working together seamlessly.
So no more information silos, no more wasting time chasing down updates. I'm starting to see why this matters, especially for someone like me. I love efficiency. But we got to remember that businesses are global these days. And our research said standard ERP is used in 110 countries. That's a lot of currencies.
For sure. And that's where their dual-based currency handling comes in. See, most systems make you convert everything into one single currency, which honestly can be a real pain, especially for international businesses. But with standard ERP, every single transaction is recorded in both the home currency and the transaction currency using a live exchange rate.
Okay, I'm not a finance person, but this actually sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So how does this help a business owner dealing with multiple currencies every day?
It takes away the need for manual conversions and revaluations, which is a huge time saver. Think about it. You can run reports in any currency without having to do all the math yourself or rely on a separate program. It really simplifies things, especially for global businesses.
That's pretty cool. It's like a universal translator, but for money. And speaking of making life easier, what about working on the go? We want to be able to work from anywhere on any device, right? Can standard ERP do that?
Oh, it can. And this is where things get really cool. See, we're not talking about some watered-down version of the software. This is real-time functionality across a bunch of devices: Windows, Mac, Linux, even smartphones.
Wait, hold on. I can manage my company's finances from my phone? That's kind of scary and also really impressive. But seriously, what does that look like? Can I run my entire business from the beach?
Well, it's more about empowering employees to do what they need to do from wherever they are. Imagine a warehouse manager using a tablet to track inventory in real time, or a salesperson updating customer info from their phone during a client meeting. Everyone's in the loop, always. That's the power of it.
Okay, so this isn't just about convenience then. It's about staying agile, being able to respond quickly. I like it. But, ERP systems sometimes get put in a box. People think they're just for manufacturing, right? But our research showed us that standard ERP is used in a lot of different industries. So who else can benefit from this system?
You're totally right. It's way more versatile than people realize. They've got these industry-specific modules for some really interesting sectors. For example, hotels can use their graphical reservation system, and it connects directly with billing and room service. Or rental companies, they can track specific items, manage all their bookings, and automate invoices based on real usage. They even have a whole module just for training companies so they can handle course scheduling, student records, all that good stuff.
Wow, so from the factory floor to the hotel lobby. It sounds like standard ERP is trying to break out of that stereotypical ERP mold. But we've talked a lot about features and functionality, all that. What's going on behind the scenes? What makes this system tick from a tech standpoint?
That is a great question, and this is honestly one of the most impressive things about standard ERP. They have this really unique approach. It's called single server, single data file. So unlike a lot of other systems that need multiple databases and complex integrations, standard ERP keeps everything all in one place.
Okay, now I'm not a tech person really, but even I can see how that would make things easier. But break it down for me. What are the actual benefits of having everything in one spot?
Well, it streamlines everything: reporting, data backups. It even reduces how much you need to rely on other software. And since all your data lives in one place, the whole system runs faster.
Speed and simplicity. That's what I'm talking about. But we all know every business is different. So what about customization? Can standard ERP adapt to those unique workflows and quirks that every business has?
That's where their Hansa Application Language comes in, HAL for short. And HAL is a game changer because developers can use it to tailor the software to specific needs. And it's all done within the application itself, no workarounds needed.
So it's like having a custom-made suit, but for your business software.
Exactly. It's all about giving businesses the power to make the software work for them, not the other way around.
I like that. So we've talked about a lot, all the modules,
Yeah.
different industries using it, even the tech behind it all. And it's clear that standard ERP is more than just another software. It's a whole platform designed to connect everything and streamline everything, empower businesses, basically. And that's important in a world that's changing so fast.
It's about breaking down those walls that separate everyone and giving everyone in the company the tools and information they need to be their best.
Exactly. And, for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but is it really that different? I think the question you need to be asking yourself is, can you afford not to at least explore the possibilities?
That's something to think about.
It is. In a world where data is everything, and we need to be connected, and we need to be able to move quickly, standard ERP gives us a glimpse of what the future of business could really be. So keep an open mind as you explore ERP, ask questions, and never forget how powerful information can be when it's right there at your fingertips.
You're hitting on something really important there. Data is king, right? But standard ERP gets that. It's not just about collecting the data, it's about what you do with it, turning it into something you can actually use. Actionable intelligence, as they say.
Okay, so how do they do that? How does standard ERP take raw data and make it mean something for business owners, for people making decisions?
Well, it starts with their analytical engine. And let me tell you, this is next level stuff. We're not talking about your grandma's reports here. With this system, you can tag every single transaction with up to 15 levels of analysis.
15. Seriously, that's incredibly specific.
Yep.
But what does that look like in the real world? Give me an example.
Okay, so imagine you're tracking profitability, but you're not just seeing it by product. You can break it down by sales region, customer type, even down to the individual salesperson. Or, picture this, you're analyzing marketing campaigns, and you can see everything. I mean everything. Customer demographics, how engaged they are, your return on investment, all of it. It's about getting a complete picture of how your business is doing.
Okay, that's a lot of information. Almost too much. It sounds a little overwhelming, honestly. So how do you even know where to start? How does standard ERP help you make sense of all that data?
Well, that's where SmartView comes in. This is where it gets really cool. Think of SmartView as your data storyteller.
Yeah.
It takes all that data, all those numbers, and turns them into something you can actually understand. Visuals, We're talking charts and graphs, and you can customize the reports to see exactly what you need.
So no more getting lost in spreadsheets. No need for a data science degree to figure it all out.
Exactly. Anyone can use it, no matter what their role is. It helps everyone spot trends, see opportunities, and make smart decisions based on real data. You don't have to be a tech whiz.
Okay, I got to be honest. The SmartView thing has got my attention now. Sounds like it could really give businesses an edge. But let's switch gears for a minute. Go back to something we talked about earlier. Customization.
Okay.
You mentioned this thing called HAL, the Hansa Application Language. What's so special about it? Why is it such a big deal for ERP?
Okay, so HAL is a game changer. And here's why. It's not just some extra customization tool they tacked on. It's built right into the core of standard ERP. So what that means is that developers can actually go in and change how features work. They can even build whole new modules without ever leaving the system. It's about making the software adapt to how you do business, not the other way around.
So it's like having your own personal team of software engineers, but without the huge price tag.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It gives businesses so much control. You can really make the software your own without being limited by what's already there or having to rely on other complex systems.
We've talked about a lot, connecting everything, all the different modules, data analysis, all that. But let's dig a little deeper into the mobile capabilities. Our research mentioned something about wide area networking and real-time functionality. What's so special about how standard ERP handles mobile?
Okay, so this is another area where standard ERP really shines. It's all about real-time access wherever you are. And I don't just mean being able to see your data. I mean actually using the software. So let's say you're a warehouse manager. You can use a tablet to track your inventory, make changes, all in real time. Or imagine a salesperson. They can update a customer's info on their phone right there during a meeting. Everyone's on the same page, always.
It's like having your finger on the pulse of the entire company, no matter where you are. That's powerful stuff. But let's talk about the elephant in the room for a second. Security. With all this connectivity, all this data flying around, how does standard ERP keep everything safe? That's a big deal for businesses, especially these days.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on. Security is huge, and standard ERP knows that. Our research, it didn't really go super deep into the tech side of things, but they definitely made it clear that the system's got, all these security measures in place to protect sensitive information and all that.
Okay, but what does that actually look like for someone using this every day? What are they doing to keep things safe?
Think of it like layers of protection, right? So you've got your access controls, your user permissions. That way, only the people who are supposed to see certain data can see it. Then there's data encryption. So all that information is scrambled, makes it impossible to read unless you're authorized. And of course, they do regular security audits too, to make sure there are no weak spots, that kind of thing.
So they're really covering all the bases. Internal threats, external threats, they've got it handled. That's good to hear, especially with all the digital risks these days.
Absolutely. And because they've got this big focus on security, it means businesses can, focus on what matters, using their data to get ahead, be more competitive.
Music to my ears. We've covered a ton of ground today. All those modules, those industry-specific solutions, even the tech behind it all, and that customization with HAL, it's clear that standard ERP, it's not just some software, it's a whole platform. And it's designed to connect to everything, make it all flow smoothly, give businesses the power to do what they need to do. And in a world that's changing so fast, I think that's more important than ever, don't you?
Couldn't agree more. It's all about breaking down those barriers and making sure everyone has the tools and information they need to succeed, no matter what their job is.
Exactly. And for our listeners out there, if you're thinking, okay, sounds cool, but is it really that different? Here's a thought for you. Can you afford not to at least see what's possible? In a world that's driven by data, by being connected, by being able to adapt quickly, standard ERP gives you a glimpse of what the future of business could be. So while you're exploring ERP, keep an open mind. Ask the tough questions. And most importantly, never underestimate the power of information, especially when it's right there at your fingertips. That's all for today's deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.